Let's call the meeting. Welcome all who are here in person and those joining us via Zoom this evening to the Richmond Amateur Radio Club meeting, February. I'd like to start with visitors. Do we have any visitors this evening? No visitors. Good. Then, well, that's not really good. Usually we have a visitor or two. We remember it too. But let's do introductions. We'll go through the room. We'll start with Ken, and then also Ken will read who is on the who's joining us via Zoom.
Okay, WB0L, Ken, the treasurer.
John, WB4NHX. Scott, N1TZT.
WB4EMY, Emily.
Dave, KR4EYF.
Dan, N4DOB.
Bob, KG4, EZIP.
Dwayne, KK4JNN.
John, KX4QC.
Marvin, WA1UQO.
Mike, K4KM.
GK4GD.
Rick, K84OHM.
Tom, K84CMK.
Steve, W4SB.
Tom, KG4BIZ.
K4ABV.
John, KC4WT.
Rick, KQ4UQA.
Bruce, W4BRU.
David, Westinghouse 3 officer.
Leah, KB4IQB.
And I'm Daryl, WW4F.
Okay, online we have Dave White, W4IIA, Dave, KO4BEM, John, W4ZAK, Chevy, KK4OWU, Patrick Bolin, K4PKB, and Ron, KQ4LDA.
Would you introduce ourselves? We can say who you are. We're just doing introductions.
Eric Howell, W4MC.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So the next item or the
Oh, there's one other that joined that wasn't there when I looked. Gordon, who's our speaker, I believe.
Gordon North. Yeah,
NQ4K.
very good.
Hello?
Good evening, Gordon.
Hello?
Good evening.
No, I'm not Gordon, I'm John, W4ZAK.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Gordon will probably join us later about 7:30. Then the next item on the agenda is approval of the past meeting minutes. They were attached to our newsletter and that came out earlier this week. Are there any corrections or changes to the minutes from the January meeting? If none, do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. The next item would be the treasurer's report.
Okay, treasurer's report. We started out with a balance of $15,224.97. And I'm gonna read them just as they are. 4 dues for $88, a donation of $50. 2 more dues for $44, a $28 donation. Another single due of $22. FCC classes, $66, and 36 dues, which were all PayPal, for $803, which brought us in $1,101. I had to go buy a new measuring rod, but that's the dowel rod. It's an inch around, 38 inches high, $5.81. We paid the church for using their facilities, $1,200. We donated $200 to rats. I bought for the website to help us out in storage space, a thing that goes through and removes duplicate images. And it turns out WordPress is really stupid. When you add an image, it adds up to 6 versions thereof. And they're different sizes and whatnot. And this piece of software for $29 went through and removes all of the ones that you're not using. You can restore them, but, for 30 days, and then they're gone. We had to pay for the website name, if you will. And so that's the ICANN fee. That's $18.78. It's a yearly fee. And for all those people who joined through PayPal, we paid $49.52 to them. So that's $1,503.11 that we got. So we lost money. We're down to $14,822.86. Just part of the data to let you guys know. 162 members, a quorum size is 25 as mandated. 123 of you have now paid, which is a little over, it was 122, somebody paid me here. 122 is 75.3%. We'd probably jump up another 0.5 or so 75.8, maybe 76. That leaves 39 people left who have not paid. Our age range in the club is from 14 years old to 96 years old. The average is 68.2 years old. The median, which is if you took the club, lined them up by birth age, 71, half the club. So that's the midpoint of by age. So we're sort of an old club, you know, we do have some young members, so.
Mature.
Yeah, see, I'm that old that it used to be called old. Now it's seasoned would be another word again, right?
Right. Thank you, Ken.
All right.
The next, anything to update on the school?
Yeah. So, take a little time getting cranked up on it, but we've got some numbers. As of this afternoon, we had 3 people sign up for tech, 1 for general and 2 for extra. In most cases, we need 4 people to hold a class. And the reason we do that is that we lose 1 or 2 because real life takes place and this is a hobby. So they have to drop out. And if you let too many drop out, you're not teaching anymore. So that's what we got with that. See, the deadline for general was today. I'm sure we'll extend a little bit if some people need to get into it. And the 20th of February for all the rest. And then we have 4 seminars set up. Michael KN4
Michael Miller?
yes, KN4 VA is having his knee replaced, so he can't teach, but he decided to do it with Zoom. So once he figures out what his stability is, we'll do it that way. And so that's an option we can always have. So that's where we are with the schools. Not much in the seminars yet, but we'll see what we're doing. Any questions on it?
Thank you, Bruce. Just one more thing. Is there anything with the remote station? Everything up and running fine?
Works well. Yeah. And it's being used from Crozet, Virginia a fair bit. So one of our members who oftentimes in Crozet on the weekend, he checks in here, talks to people, gets on the air.
Is that Nora?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So it's getting some good use.
Right.
And people, some of you know Fred Vincent,
Yeah.
and he uses them a lot for getting on the the Virginia web, the Virginia phone net.
Mhm.
If you're using 80 meters, it's hard to get an 80-meter antenna for your house.
Right.
And this is great for 80 meters.
Good. Thank you, Bruce. I think the D-Star station is working great.
Very well.
In spite of wind being on. So, anything to report on the net activity? We have no fewer than 9 nets, 80 meters and 40 meters, 2 on 40, and then
We could use some more people. Tom and I do these nets all week.
From Sunday and Thursday, I got found.
that's how you come out and meet us. Come out and meet us on the nets.
Yeah.
So that our members are there, net patrol, you know.
We do 80-meter net on Monday night. We have a couple of other little ones. I participate in a 40-meter every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock. 7238, anybody's welcome.
Could I have one? Oh, some of you may know about the New Hampshire, they're meeting on Wednesday night, they're moving to Tuesday. So Tuesday nights at 7:15.
Okay,
And, the new hams take turns being net control, so it's a really good way to get comfortable on the radio.
yeah. Let's see, is there any old business? I think I have something that would qualify under old business. We've, Dan, thanks to Dan, is reviewed and renewed and revised our brochures. So I have brochures for the school and brochures that target the club. So they're used, we have folks that go to the VE testing and they'll hand out some of these brochures for the VE test that hams may be there to test that did not come through the school. But Lauren, for example, would like to have brochures and handouts to those that are there taking the test. And then other opportunities will be Maker Fest opportunities or go in STEM or STEAM events. You might have something that you'd want to take for the school. So if you would like to just take one, is just to have one for the club, or if you know of an event coming up. Otherwise, we'll keep them in a safe place. I think Bruce might hang on to the school brochures.
Okay.
And I'll find a place for us. The club brochures probably in the cabinet here, so that we always have them here.
You probably should put the school's virtual in there as well, because you can be taken for Maker Fest and that sort of thing.
Okay, we'll do that. But after the meeting or during the break, you can come up and grab one of the two brochures. RAR School or the Richmond Amateur Radio Club. And along that line, this is the year of the club, the ARRL year of the club. You may have seen the announcement in QST about that. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Yeah. So I have Dan. Thanks to Dan, he had some of these printed off for us, and you take those. And then you just take one and hand them down. And we were already up and running with that, thanks to Dan. The first step is to take a look at the website and then take a look at our newsletters. They haven't released everything yet, what they'll be looking for, but they will be comparing the different clubs. It seems to be a little bit like a contest that you'll be making submissions, and Dan made the first two submissions, and Dan is looking for some help. It's not going to run with this all year long. It's a year-long program, making submissions to the ARRL to give credit to the clubs where the credit is due. So there might be other things they're asking for related to the club as far as the net activity or in our case, the school activity. So if you take a look at that, and if you can help Dan, please let us know. And we'll flag, and when we find out more information of what's going on along throughout the year, we'll pass that along if it's appropriate. It's something that we're doing. Then we wanted to try to address that. Let's see, new business. Thanks, Ken. Would like to speak to some new business?
We sent everybody in the club an email through Groups.io that says we'd like to change two places in the bylaws. Basically, it's been overdue from my point of view forever, over 25 years, and I don't remember, you said it was when you were treasurer also. I think, no, somebody, we've been past treasurer way for a long time ago, that this same issue has run. What it is the bylaws say that the secretary is supposed to keep the roster. And I have no idea exactly why that came up initially, but the treasurer has done it, I think, for the entire time the club has been in existence. And the reason is the treasurer gets the money. And you have to pay before you can become a member. And so it was more convenient rather than having to then transport the information to somebody else to enter it into the roster. So treasurer has always done it. However, the duties of the secretary said they were. Currently, the duties of the secretary reads this way. The secretary shall maintain proper records of all proceedings of meetings of the members and the board, shall maintain membership rolls, shall handle all correspondence of the corporation, including notices of regular or special meetings of the membership and of the board. Okay, all we want to do is strike that one part sentence there that shall maintain the membership rolls. There's two roles actually. Active role, inactive role. We maintain your membership as an inactive member. And if you come back in a reasonable time frame that's undefined, you get to come back with when you originally joined and you don't get voted on because you were voted on the first time. So that's the first change. The second change is to basically add two things to the treasurer's duties. All reoccurring annual expenses over $200 will be presented to the board at the first board meeting of the year for reapproval. Shall maintain the membership rolls. The money part was as the treasurer where things go up, I can spend money up to $200 without basically asking for permission. We have reoccurring things like some of the things for the website, our PO box, our insurance. I started to say life insurance. It's not life, it's liability insurance that we have for the club. So if somebody gets hurt while we're meeting here, we got insurance to cover. If we have an event, we got insurance to cover. Those are over. The bad news is that the post office basically sticks a letter in the box that says, hey, it's due at the end of the month. And you go, I got to get a board approval real quick. So we want to do it at the beginning of the year so that I don't have to be asking the board for an emergency vote on expending the money. And the other part was just to add the responsibility of maintaining the roster to the treasurer's role. I'd like to have a vote. Oh, a question?
A motion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can I have a motion?
First?
I'm making a motion that we approve both of those
Change.
changes.
Second?
Second. All in favor?
Okay, all those in favor?
Any opposed?
Aye.
Who is opposed?
Any opposed?
No, it was
He
an
said
aye.
it was an aye.
Oh, it was an aye. Oh, okay.
Right. All in favor. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. As I say, it's been wrong for quite a while. And since we were changing it, I figured we'd throw in the other part about the money just to make my job a tad bit easier. And actually for the board too. Don't have to emergency go. Everybody quick, we gotta have a meeting or at least do an email vote to approve this because we got 3 days. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken. Moving on to announcements, I have a few announcements. It's first, my pleasure to announce that John Watkins Pittsburgh is now the secretary of the club. We appreciate his willingness to support the club. And, you know, the duties are, in addition to, you know, making a record of the proceedings, you know, the minutes for the meeting, this meeting, for the fourth meeting, he also has a vote and a voice and a vote into anything that comes before the board. And we're really looking forward to having him with us. And I think it'll be a really good asset to the leadership of the club. So we really want to thank. The second announcement, Mike Owens has been a trustee of the W4FJ Hall for decades, I believe. And we appreciate that. And in my conversation with Mike, he would like to step back from those duties. And following that, almost immediately following that conversation, when stepped up and would like to take over the responsibility as trustee of the W4J call, which is tied to the D-Star repeater, which is, very close to. So I'd like to thank Mike for your decades-long service to us as the trustee for the W4FJ repeat. And we look forward to working with Win during the transition phase. When he gets back, he's probably on a flight from Singapore to New York. And then he'll spend the night in New York, and tomorrow he'll come on to Richmond. So thanks, Mike. The next announcement is we have badges here. I have probably 10 or 11 badges here that haven't been picked up from different members. So if you've neglected to pick up your badge, please do so. And for anybody anybody on Zoom, you can have somebody pick your badge up for you. Or you might come and take a look at the badges, and if you know somebody, live near somebody, you go ahead and take it with you and connect with them and drop it off. Let's see. I think, I want to point out that the parts, there are two tables and a cart. And the parts all come from the estate of one of our past presidents, John DeMayo. His call was K5HTZ. And his daughter brought those over, or had Tom bring them over, and they're free. Take a look. Is there anything you'd like to have? Any little mementos? I found a couple of goodies that I'd like to have. And I appreciate Kathleen doing that for the members. And it's just that the boxes don't go. Kathleen wants the boxes back, but the parts, fill your pockets up with the parts.
The little drawer cabinet can go if you want that, and the little plastic cases can go, just not the suitcases.
Right. And
Hello. Thank you all for taking. Hi, I'm so sorry I'm not there. I have to cook dinner, or else I'll be in big trouble. I'm sorry. But thank you all for taking the pieces and parts. And also, I'm getting ready to do some more with the museum. If anybody's interested, I haven't figured out the chats IO or whatever, but I'm working on it. So, thank you all.
hey, Kathleen, thank you. And then the next thing I have is it's an announcement from the Old Virginia Hams. There's a Ham Fest in Manassas. And I have a piece of paper here that tells me who that is.
I think that's the one that I was asked to put on the website.
Yes, we were contacted by that. It's Saturday, June 20th.
We got it.
And this is it's a new location. It's in Dumfries, 13833. 13833 Dumfries Road. So I have a flyer for you if you're interested in that. You can take it or take a picture of it. And remember, it has been. It's going to be at the Charles Holigan Senior High School there. So it's a new location that from the past years.
You go to our website, it's a featured item on there. I think it's the first featured item. Take a look.
Any other announcements?
We were gifted some ARL license manuals. If anybody wants them to look over. Extra general and tech. We use a different kind of manuals for our school, but these are very comprehensive and very good to read and very thoroughly done. So, and I guess we'll put them in with our library staff, but anybody wants to check them out, you're welcome to, guys.
Good. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you for giving them to us.
Any other announcements? Any show and tell? Well, if that's it, do I have a motion to conclude the business portion of the meeting?
So moved.
Let's do that. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Good. Let's break for about 10 minutes and then we'll. Yeah, I'd like to call everybody back to order. We have a guest from the Sterling Park Amateur Radio Club, and they happen to be the sponsors of the Virginia QSO Party. And that will be in May. Hey, Tom? And that'll be in May that we'll have the QSO Party. I think it's the third weekend in May. We'll get the dates right offhand. So we have Gordon Miller, NQ4K, with us tonight. You can unmute Gordon and join us.
There it is, just get back to the down.
Gordon, you need to unmute.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Gordon. Thank you very much. Come on in.
Okay. Hold on here. I hope you can see that.
Yeah, we can see you.
We can
Good-
see
good
you.
audio.
You need to share your screen.
Okay. There we go.
Yep, there we go. Super.
All right.
Okay. I'm Gordon, NQ4K. My call sign is right here. There's on this slide, there is an address for this presentation and all the other information you need to know about the Virginia QSO Party. Usually I don't type that in. I just go to Google and type in Virginia QSO Party, and the top first or second responses takes you to our website. And at that website, you can download this presentation, all 130 slides of it about the upcoming 2026 Virginia QSO Party. Fortunately for you and for me, I'm not going to go over all 130 slides today. I picked 37 of my favorite ones, and so we will start. I'm going to be jumping around a lot, so I hope none of you get headaches from my doing that. Whoops. Okay. Purpose of the Virginia QSO Party is to promote radioactivity in the 95 Virginia counties and the 38 Virginia independent cities. If you can add, that's 133 separate QTH locations in the state of Virginia. This year, the party will be held on 21 March through Sunday, 22 March. And so that's 10 a.m. local time on Saturday to 12 midnight local time. And then we start again Sunday morning at 8 and run until 8 p.m. local. So that's a little more than 24 hours, 29 hours, I think. We used to run 48 hours, and we found that as the hair gets gray, we like to sleep, and we could not stay up all night. And we found that starting around midnight, the activity was falling down to almost zero. So we said, we'll just cut out the night and make everybody happy. Let's see here. So I believe, although I would not swear to it, that not very many people from your club have actually participated in the party before. In that case, I'm going to say just a little bit about how you work the party. Not too many slides. So you start out by saying, CQ Virginia QSO Party. CQ Virginia QSO Party, this is November Quebec 4 Kilo. And I will show you what frequencies you should be on in a moment. And if someone hears you, especially since you are in the state of Virginia, they will come back and say something like W2YE, and that's all you need to say, the standard contest exchange. If you hear them, or you hear many, you pick one of them and you say W2YE, thank you, and then you give them a QSO number and a QTH. The QSO number is just a serial number. You are my first contact, second contact, third contact, 678. And then your QTH. And your QTH is your Virginia county or independent cities. If you're in Virginia, and of course, we all are in Virginia. If you're not in Virginia, so you're another state or province or DX country, then you go with the name of the state, the province, or just say DX for a DX country. The list of counties and independent cities is up on our website, along with that list also has a 3-letter abbreviation. So Fairfax County, where I am, is FFX. And if you're in Fairfax City, you'd be FXX. And there's a 3-letter abbreviation for all of the 138 counties and independent cities. Usually people say something like, Fairfax County FFX, and you give people both of those to make sure they get it correct. If that person hears what you said correctly, they'll say something like, thank you, and they'll say number 276, Loudoun County, Lima Delta, November. If you hear and you say thank you, and you start over again. It's pretty much a straight contest exchange. The only thing unique about it is the fact that we use Virginia counties and independent cities as the QTH. Okay, I think that's all I need on this slide. If you're a multi-transmitter station, you can maintain a separate sequential QSO number independently for each of your transmitters. That goes back to the days when, we did not have everything linked up magically with Wi-Fi. Okay. These are the frequencies that we have in our rules. Our rules are also up on our website. You can go there and read them. The most popular channels, the most popular frequencies are 40 meters, followed by 80 meters. There's a slide in the presentation which talks about the number of contacts which were made on each of the bands. But 40 meters is the last year and for the past couple of years has been the band of choice, especially if you're trying to make a contact within the state of Virginia. So if you're new to this, you go to like 40 meters, 7260, and scroll up and down the band a little bit, looking for someone calling CQ Virginia QSO Party. We also do a little bit of radio teletype, but it turns out that the number of radio teletype contacts is very, very, very low. And so I won't say it's not worth your while doing, but you have to be really enthusiastic about radio teletype in order to pursue that. 6 meters, 2 meters, 1.25 meters usually are only done by the mobile folks as they travel around the state of Virginia. Okay, so now you've made a regular contact, you've put it in your logging program. The most popular logging programs are N1MM Plus and N3FJP. N1MM Plus is kind of daunting if you have not used it before. I would not recommend installing it, the day of the contest, but install it sometime before that and make sure you understand the difference between a log and a database and how to start up the built-in logging screen for the Virginia QSO Party. N3FJP, even though it costs money, I think it's $6 now, is a very, very intuitive program. And they have a program specifically for the Virginia QSO Party. If you're new and don't want to fiddle with N1MM Plus, pay the $6 or $7 and download that program and install it. It's very, very easy to use. So this year, we have two types of bonus stations. One is Virginia is for Lovers bonus. And Evan, a member of our club, was enthusiastic about this. And he lined up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hams, which agreed to use 1-by-1 call signs for the party. And for each one of these that you contact, you get an extra 50 points. We also offer a certificate. If you see our website, there's a form up there. You fill out the form, you email it, and there's an email address up there, and you will receive a certificate highlighting that Virginia is for lovers. As I go down from here down to Richmond all the time, I pass by a couple of the rest stops, and they have these big signs out that say Virginia is for lovers. So this is kind of neat. But as I think someone mentioned earlier in your business meeting, this is also the year of the club. And so we did not realize that when we were doing the Virginia is for Lovers bonus. But Mike is going to gather a list of participating ARRL affiliated clubs, and a contact with one of those clubs will be worth 20 points. And he promised to have that list to us by 20 February. So on 20 February, or check on 21 February, we should have a list of clubs up on our website that are participating in the Year of the Club bonus effort. Some of you may ask, will my logging program calculate these points? And the answer probably is no. Because this is probably a one year thing. However, we rescore all the logs we receive from you. And so if you submit the logs, the way you submit the logs through our web portal, Henry, K2BFY, will eventually get those logs, and he will rescore everything. And he has an algorithm built in his scoring program that will give you the appropriate number of bonus points. And he will also recalculate your score, based on the number of QSOs you make, et cetera, et cetera. And so it does not matter what your logging program says, Henry will calculate the official score. We have some almost unique categories. In addition to a fixed station, which is obvious, we have 3 other types of stations. We have an expedition, we have a mobile, and then we have this thing called a rover. And they are all different. And it's up to you if you want to be an expedition or a mobile or a rover to correctly identify the type of operation you are and put that in your log. So this is a mobile. This is what you ordinarily think of as a mobile. You're driving around town and you pick up the microphone and you call someone. It's capable of operating in motion, operates stationary in the same configuration. It's always capable of travel without disconnecting any wiring or changes in the antennas while you're moving. It doesn't use commercial stations. The driver counts as a station operator, and we have a separate mobile plaque for those stations with an operator and a driver. And it's called mobile, multiple operator, then the single transmitter or multiple transmitter. And so the spirit behind this mobile is it's a station designed for everyday use and not designed for contesting. And so a rover is in fact a vehicle-mounted radio station designed for contesting and is not a mobile or an expedition station. It does not fall in either of those categories. The rover may make contacts while stationary or while it's moving, may change equipment and antenna configurations, operate from a vehicle or off a vehicle, may or may not use commercial power. The driver counts as a station operator. And the spirit behind the rover category is it's a station designed for contesting. And in some pictures you will see, not in the presentation this year, but in past years, you'll see people who have these huge antennas. And they will, drive somewhere and set up a 20-foot antenna or something like that. We consider that to be a rover. And this is an expedition. This has been a long time Virginia QSO Party category. And it's a station that moves between 2 or more Virginia non-permanent station locations. Everything gets driven to that operating site. Commercial power may be used. If you are a mobile, that is, you have antennas and a radio mounted in your vehicle and you stop somewhere, you are not an expedition. Okay. Let's see, where am I? That's 19. So how do you categorize this when you're on the air, right? Or in your log? Because, you might give your call sign as November, Quebec 4 Kilo stroke rover or something like that. Well, the answer is for all of those, for rover, expedition, and for mobile, you use the stroke M in your call sign. And the person receiving your call will put stroke M in your call sign. And so it does not matter if you are a mobile, a rover, or an expedition in your QSO data. Or when you sign on the air, I am NQ4K stroke M. And then that is what gets recorded in your QSO data. Now, in your header data in the Cabrillo file, you enter the station category, and that can be mobile or expedition or rover. And there's a separate entry there, and it looks like category station mobile or category station expedition or category station rover. And that's how we know in our scoring process whether you are a mobile, an expedition, or a rover. I don't know if any of you are going to operate, get in your car and go out and operate somewhere, but we try to enforce those rules. No questions so far. That's good. Everybody,
I got a question.
Everybody is shell shocked. Yes, go ahead.
I'm Bruce W4BRU. I'm addicted to calling CQ on that QSO party. But I don't have a Windows. I don't have a Windows system, so I use a Raspberry Pi on a second computer, and I use CQR log, and I have a hell of a time trying to have that ADF file converted into something that you all can use. Do you know any way to get that done? Over.
ADIF to
You have something to do
Brillo?
it?
I've
Yes.
never actually run into that problem before, but I can do that. It's pretty straightforward to convert manually. So
John says
you
he
send it
right?
to
John.
me. I can
Okay.
I can do it. What log? Oh, you use a different logging program. Okay.
I use CQR log, but it still does the regular standard ADIF file, so.
Yep. I can convert that manually. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Okay.
We might have a solution here.
Okay.
Yeah, John has experience here, so we'll get Bruce and John together and see if we can.
Well, we need to get more of us together to get on this thing. This is too much fun for people to miss, even if you don't care about contests.
But you're one of the few hams in Richmond, so you'll stay busy all day.
Yes, I'll stay really busy, although it was bad last year. You gonna be on it too?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. Good, okay, Gordon.
Okay, so I've been doing this for like 23 years now, but I don't do it by myself. I have a team of people to help me, and these are those people. The first page of those people. Up in the upper left-hand corner, that's Henry, K2BFY. Henry is a software guy, and he writes our scoring software. And he also takes the logs and scores them. And this year, for the first year, he will also assign the certificate achievement levels. Now, I hope for those people who have participated in the past that you have received a certificate. And on that certificate, it'll say, something like, 2006, 2026 Virginia QSO Party, Sterling Park Amateur Radio Club, blah, 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 congratulates Gordon Miller, NQ4K, for participating. You achieved 27th high, Fairfax County. And you got so many points, and you contacted so many stations in independent counties. And so he's written some software to do that for me. It usually takes me about 3 hours to manually go down through all the logs we receive and do that. This is Marty. He runs our online log portal. On the day of the contest, we will open up that portal. And when you have finished your Cabrillo log, you submit it through that portal, and it will do some simple error checking on it and submit it into our queue for further processing. You have to be careful with this because Marty has a system set up where you submit the log to him, he reviews it, and then he sends an email back to you. And you have to respond to that email. There's a little place that says click here. And you have to click here, and that makes sure that your email address is correct. If you don't click here, then your log doesn't get, finally submitted. This is Eric. He helps with the electronic log scoring. This is Evan, KM4SK. He is doing outreach, and also he runs the Virginia is for Lovers bonus points this year. This is John. He's actually the one of the few people running the contest who is not from the Sterling Park Amateur Radio Club. John is from the Fauquier Amateur Radio Association and has been instrumental, especially in the past, in the Virginia QSO only plaques. This is Barry. He helps me with certificate titles. This is me. And this is Conrad. Conrad is very important. He helps me with quality control. You'd be surprised, maybe you wouldn't be, at the number of mistakes that I make. And so Conrad reviews pretty much everything I do and makes corrections. This is Larry, W8A&T. He helps me with presentations. This is Andy. He does a APRS tracker. I'll show you that in a minute. Mike, he does the call history file. And this is Mike, WA8AHZ, who is doing the ARRL Year of the Club bonus points. Okay, this
Question about the bonus, the club bonus thing. You
I'm
use, you use a club call sign for that?
yes.
Okay.
And
We have two club calls.
you got to talk to Mike.
Okay,
He's collecting those.
all right.
Last year there were 30 plaques. And this year we're down to 28 plaques. And here they are. It's an incredible number of plaques. I don't know if you can actually read that or not. We have some plaques that are only for Virginia stations. And we have a plaque for everything in here. There's a plaque for low power. There's a plaque for high power. There's plaques for phone. There's a plaque for CW. There's plaques for mobile operations. There's plaques for rovers. There's a plaque for Virginia Expedition. And then we have a couple of plaques for different clubs on how well they score. The Virginia Club Combined Score is where we take the logs of everybody in your club and just add the scores together. And that's one way of computing it. We have another way of computing a club plaque, which we call Virginia Club Merge Score. And in this one, we take all the QSOs made by people in your club. We have all the files. And we combine those into one big file. And we delete all of the non-Virginia QSOs. So this is only counting Virginia QSOs. And then we rescore that huge log. And you get a score out of that. And we have a plaque for that. Both of those were Virginia QSOs only plaques, and there's a single operator plaque on the next page, were suggested by John Huggins from the Fauquier Amateur Radio Association, because he was urging us to focus in on making contacts within the state of Virginia and not so much making a bunch of DX contacts. And down here we have some fixed multiple operator, single transmitter, multiple operator, multiple transmitter plaques. Now we also have plaques for any single operator station, regardless of whether they are in the state of Virginia or not in the state of Virginia. And here you see some of the oddball plaques, VHF only, novice tech rookie, single band, single operator, Virginia County and independent cities contacted. And that's the number of QTHs in Virginia that you contacted. There's 133. No one has contacted all 133. Interestingly enough, the first year we had this plaque, a ham from Ontario won it. And last year, I think a guy from Slovenia or the Slovak Republic, OM2VL, won it. For some reason, he is just located in the right spot, and his antennas are just aimed right, and he can hear everything that's going on in the state of Virginia. He won 4 plaques last year. He is very good. And then we have some other. There's digital mode. Digital mode is not very well. See, I lost my train of thought. Not too many people only do digital mode. There's not very many digital mode stations on the air. And then there's a single operator Ute, which is sponsored by the USS Wisconsin Amateur Radio Club. And then we have some plaques for stations outside of Virginia. And so there's an outside Virginia single operator, and then 2 QRP plaques, and then a high DX station. Okay, so for operating aids, we've got 3 operating aids. So you're on the air and you say, well, how do I find where people are? you know, if they're not on that frequency, all those stations cannot be on that frequency, you know, like 3860 or something. And the first place you go is to the QSO Party and Operating Events DX cluster, which you can get to from this call sign, www.qsoparty.com, and that's provided by John. And he's that gentleman from the Fauquier Amateur Radio Association I talked about earlier. And that thing updates every 2 minutes or something like that. And the big stations, it will feed into this cluster. And it's an easy way of finding some stations that you have not contacted before. The second one is Andy, K1RA. He runs an APRS tracker. So if you're a mobile or rover, send your email to Andy at k1ra@k1ra.us with your APRS call sign. And he will put it, and he has a nice little website here with a colored map, and it will show where all of the mobile, or where the mobile and the rovers are at any given time. And that's a very, very nice program for seeing who's coming down and who's going to be around the area that you're trying to get. And finally, for those incredibly dedicated and proficient logging program people, Mike in 4CF generates a call history file. And he'll update that here in a couple of weeks. And a call history file is put into your logging program, and it helps to auto-complete your log entry. And so if my name is in there, N4ZQA, and it'll have comma FFX, Fairfax County. So when you start typing that, N4ZQA, Fairfax County will show up in the appropriate slot in your logging program. A few people use it, not a lot, but you have to be careful, especially with my call sign, because there's an NQ4I. And NQ4I, when you start typing NQ4, you know, the I will show up because that comes before K. And so some people, if they don't pay attention to what's being said and they don't check what's being manually entered, they'll get the wrong location. But that's useful for some people who use that type of thing. Okay. I have a whole section in this presentation on statistics. I do not have enough time tonight to go over all of the statistics, but I thought I would show 2 of the pages of statistics. This is the number of logs that were submitted by year. So way back here in 2001, we had 110 logs submitted, and I think they were all paper. And we had a log scoring party here where everyone, not everyone, 4 or 5 people came over, and we spent a couple hours manually checking all the logs that were submitted. In 2024, that's year before last, we had 721 logs submitted. And you can see, looking at the left-hand column there was 2021, 667, 679, 637, 721. And I was optimistic that we were going to get 800. But we dropped down to 584. And I do not understand why. But
Propagation was lousy. I was calling CQ. Yeah.
Maybe propagation was lousy, but we had a significant drop there. So it is going to be interesting to see what happens this year. I am optimistic with all the people you have in your club that you could drive that up to 800 all by yourself. I can hope, you know, I can hope. Okay. Here's when the QSOs are happening. So this is by hour. And you can see in the upper left-hand corner when it starts, it's high, and then it kind of falls off. And then when you get on towards midnight, it really drops off. So, this is when people start to go to sleep and they just said, heck with it, and they just go to bed. And then the next day it starts and then it kind of builds, but Sunday is not as active as Saturday is. Oh, look, I made a mistake right here. Well, that's 25, 24, but I still have the 24 date on here. This is 25. Yep, 25. Let me make a note. Okay. Now we get to 68, 69. You want to know where the contacts were made in the state of Virginia. So there are two sides to a QSO, and so this counts both sides. And so if one QSO is two contacts, and there are 6 pages of this data, I don't think you want to look at it too hard. It's hard on the eyes, but it is there if you want to look at it. Let's see where Richmond is, just on Richmond. There it is. There's Richmond City, which is what we want. And you had 279 contacts last year. That's not too bad. Down from the year before, when it was 507. Now, some of that could be because people are mixing up Richmond County and Richmond City. I do not know. Okay, but that's kind of hard to read and hard to understand what is going on. So we're going to skip all of this, and we're going to skip to this. As some of you may have heard before, I was a government contractor for a while, and I will not say that I did not conscientiously work every day, every hour, every minute. But somehow I found time to color code the counties with how many contacts were made in that county. And so you see if it's 0, it is red. If it's 1 to 10, it's pink. If it's double digits, it's yellow. If it's triple digits, it's light green. And if it's over 1,000, it's dark green. And here in 2005, the dark green was up here and right there. And there's a lot of red and pink. Now I'm going to go down here. There's 2006, 2007, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. In 20, we only had 1 county that was red, no contacts. 21, 2 counties. 22, we had no counties that had 0 contacts in it. And we only had 3 counties that had single-digit contacts. 23, look at that. That's a real nice coverage in 23. 24, we had 2 counties that had no contacts. 25, we had 3 counties with no contacts. Buchanan, Highland, and Appomattox. And then 2 counties with single digits down here. So, we do pretty well at ensuring that, we got coverage throughout the state of Virginia. Now, there are about 70 counties and independent cities that do not have a fixed station in them, or there are no fixed stations which submit a log. And so most of that coverage that you see here is due to the mobiles and rovers and expeditions that look at this data and say, I'm going to fix the problem in Highland, or I'm going to fix the problem in Buchanan. And they set up routes to make sure that we've got good coverage throughout the state of Virginia. Now, that coverage may only last for the half hour it takes them to drive through that county or independent city, but it is there. Let's see, that's that I want to go to 129. Because we're getting near the end now. There are 130 slides, remember, and I'm only going over about 30 of them. So, you know, there's a lot of data in here that we are not talking about. How are we doing? Every once in a while when I get an extra few moments, I go in and see how people did in their QSO parties in the different states. And so last year, right here, you see the third entry down is Virginia, and we did 584 logs. Florida had 776. California had a huge number of logs. I haven't updated that yet. And you trail off here. So usually we are third or fourth. So in 2024, we were the third largest state QSO party in the United States. And then this year, I don't know what we're going to be. We could be third or, you know, we could be fourth. It switches back and forth between us and Pennsylvania. So I hope with, you know, you all participating, we push the number of logs we have up and, you know, push our rank up. It'll be hard. I mean, if we had hit 800 in here, we could have, you know, beaten Florida, and that's a really significant effort. Now you look at the number of operators. You know, we have 21,000 operators. Florida has 43,000. And so usually in-state and out-of-state operators are about split evenly, you know, 50-50. And California has 103,000. All right. So, you know, we do exceptionally well, you know, for the number of operators we have in the state. Okay, and that's it. So I hope to see you all on the air in 2026. It's a fun contest. People are willing to take time. You know, they're not overly concerned if you get the exchange exactly right, or if you're slow or anything like that. You just get on and call CQ Virginia QSO Party, and chances are someone will answer you, and you write it down on a napkin, or you write it down on a piece of paper, or you put it in a logging program and you submit that, and you will you'll enjoy yourself. The first time I participated in the Virginia QSO Party, I got on, and this was years ago, and I was dialing around, and there were 3 hams up there talking on the frequency, and they were talking, and every few minutes they would say something like, okay, we're participating in the Virginia QSO Party. Is there anyone out there who wants to make a contact in the Virginia QSO Party? And that's when I realized that this is a party. It's supposed to be fun. Enjoy yourself. It's not a contest where, you know, the pressure is on you to continuously make contacts. Everyone who participates in the contest and submits a log gets a certificate. And sometimes this is what the certificate generally looks at. Here's rats, the one we did with pictures from them. This is last year. This is Laszlo Vieg OM2VL, and he's won the high DX plaque for 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And look at that aluminum sticking up in his yard. I mean,
Are you surprised?
I mean, that is incredible. And he's a very nice guy. He won he got the Worked All Counties Independent Cities certificate that I think it's the Roanoke Valley Amateur Radio Club.
Could you go back to 2024? What you had up real quick?
The state map of 2024.
Yeah. You want to see that?
Go back up to 2024. No, the certificate you said that you just showed
Oh, the certificate for 2024.
for 2024. I'm right. W4 MAF on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
That's Mike Friedman from here in Richmond.
Oh, okay.
That day, I was with him, I was the driver. That day, we drove 323 miles. Never left the Commonwealth of Virginia. We ended up in places that I now have every county map for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
There you go.
Thank you.
And so this year, the certificate is going to be, we're going to highlight some pictures from the Heritage Hunt hams. And Heritage Hunt is one of these developments down by Gainesville. And that's in progress of being developed. Fortunately, I have 4 months before I actually need to print those out. Okay, do I have any more questions? I'm going to close this down, I guess. We don't need it anymore. Let's see here. Stop share. Okay, there we go. Do we have any more questions? Oh, no, I must have a couple more questions, you know.
I don't think so. I really appreciate your time doing this for us and giving us some insight on what it takes to operate the QSO party, what's going on in the background, and also pointing out to us, you know, where we can find reference and get more information about preparing ourselves to participate in the QSO party. Thank you for putting that up on your website.
You're welcome, and I thank you very much for the invitation to talk. If I was feeling better, I would come down there and appeared in person, but this year it just wasn't in the cards.
Okay, this is great. This has been great, Gordon. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah,
You know,
you have a lot of fun because not too many in Richmond, so
I
you're
bought
going
a foot switch. The first time I did it, I left it to drive me crazy. I couldn't press the button fast enough to write it down. Like, build a foot switch and put it in the radio. Anybody else wants to do it, we ought to probably get together and we ought to get at least 2 people to do W4FJ and W4ZA. We've got call time. Have them call for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be jealous. I'm gonna be W4BRU, but anyway.
All right, good. Anything else? There she is. So go, don't overlook going by the table. See if there might be something there that you would like to add to your collection at home. And next month there'll be a program on by John. John's going to do a program on some portable antennas, the chameleon loop, a rotatable dipole, and a vertical that he uses, and to share his experiences. From some of that information, we may glean some information, you know, to help us pick out something we might like to have if we were operating POTA or SOTA, or just operating on vacation or doing a public event. So I'm looking forward to that program, and I appreciate John doing that for us. So do you think you'll bring the antennas with you? Sure. I will be here too, so there'll be something to see. So plan on being here for the March meeting. That's it. Thank you very much for your participation and joining us.
Thank you.
Hey, mind yours?